Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Knowledge. Welcome to Brews and Reviews, and today I'm reviewing Kanye West's new song and video, Wash Us in the Blood, and I am washing my palate with an Anthem Brewing Uroborous. That is an 8.5% stout beer from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I'm enjoying it. It's strong, and let's get into this track. Imagine being at Kanye's level. Really, when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter what I say about him or what anybody else that's reviewing this track says about him. The fact is that this guy dropped a song and video yesterday, and he's already got 5.4 million views on that. It's the #1 video on YouTube, and this is after getting less than stellar reviews on his previous project and people thinking that he's crazy and maligning him for saying crazy stuff. He's still getting that many views. So it really doesn't matter what's said. That's respect. Yay, you need to see that. That's respect. Now, I wasn't really looking for this track to drop because I don't get that excited about new Kanye these days, but it made me realize that he has been quiet for a little while, which is out of character for him. But we should have known something was about to drop because we started seeing him all over the place. He was putting some posts out on Twitter. He was in the picture that Snoop Dogg put out of Ye and Dr. Dre working together. By the way, let me know in the comments if you're excited for that Dr. Dre Kanye project. Now let me set the stage for my review of this particular track. I haven't enjoyed a Kanye West project since the Life of Pablo, and even that one was a little bit spotty and not like what we were used to hearing from him in the past. His last album, Jesus is King, was unlistenable, and not because he was talking about God, which is what he would have everybody believe, that it got maligned in the press because he was talking about God. That wasn't it. It was the quality. It wasn't there. It wasn't the old Ye. I mean, he should have known that everybody loved Jesus Walks. He was talking about God and Jesus Walks, but everybody loves that track. So it had nothing to do with the actual message of the album. It's the way that it was executed through the actual lyrical content and the production on that piece. But even though I wasn't particularly excited to hear this, it's still an event when Kanye drops new music, and I had heard people saying that this was a good track, so I thought I'd check it out. It's very evident from the biblical title of this song and also from the name of the album that this is supposed to end up on, which is called God's Country, that the substance is going to be very similar to what he was speaking about on Jesus is King. There's a slew of producers on this track, as Kanye has been known to do for a while now. We've got Kanye himself and other heavyweights, AG, Ronny J, Dem Jointz, Boogz, and F&Z. And I don't know how you get 6 producers. It's really 7 because F&Z is a 2-man production team. How do you get 7 producers on one track and then throw in that it's mixed by Dr. Dre? So 8 people all working on the instrumental for this one track. The whole track being only 3.5 minutes. I guess every producer was like, let me get 20 seconds on that. But there it is, and it does come out somewhat nicely. I think they produced a different type of sound than we're used to hearing from all of these various producers. There's weird industrial sounds, blips, booming 808s, adding to the drum track. There's bongos and claps, and it really reminds us of Yeezus, which is good because Yeezus was really his last solid album from beginning to end. Although I liked it, people did criticize that album at the time, mostly because it's not what they were used to hearing from Ye. But if you compare it to what has been coming out lately, Yeezus is a great album by those standards. So maybe Ye was trying to go back to the old Kanye and capture some of that classic sound, the last one that he could remember at least. The video adds to the industrial feel of the track as we've got Kanye on a split screen getting his face encased in some kind of liquid metal type of CGI. But there's a lot more going on in this video than just that. There's protests, police brutality, violence, people having trouble breathing, dancing, Breonna Taylor, rioting, and Parliament Funkadelic. All of these things are fitting, except for maybe Parliament, which I think more adds to the feel of the instrumental, but the other things are pointing out society's ills and things that Kanye is asking for God to have salvation on the U.S. for. And the lyrics really drive that point home. Lyrically, this is a prayer. Kanye's pointing out all the ills of the world, specifically the ills in the current situations in the U.S., the sins, if you will. Although some of what he's talking about here are only sins as he perceives them when he's talking about slights directly against him. But more on that later. He's really asking God for forgiveness, and he's asking God for salvation on society throughout the track, to wash us in the blood or to cleanse us, save us from these sins. Although it's still somewhat of a simple concept, we haven't seen lyrics this conscious by Ye in a long time. Although it does get a little more lyrically astounding a little later on in the track. The first verse is very simple. As he's asking God to rain down, he says, "Rain down on a pain, rain down on the slain, rain down for my mom, rain down for the farm." While it does set the stage for the subject of the song, it almost sounds like he was just writing down his ad-libs, or the first thing that came to mind when he heard the track. It's a little Dr. Seuss-y, it's a little bit repetitious. It's things we've heard Kanye do a lot, although the subject matter is pretty good, and knowing the context of the song as a whole, it's not too distracting. The second verse has both Kanye and Travis Scott. Although Travis Scott is barely featured on this song, he does have some of the best lines, but other than those, he's just supporting Kanye on the chorus, just repeating some of Kanye's words. However, during his part of the verse, he does have some of the most impactful lines of the whole track. He says, "Execution 30 states still execute. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not spill, next hell's at the rendezvous." So he's drawing a line between a fundamental tenet and one of the main commandments of Christianity and what our government actually condones. Travis points out one of the many reasons that Kanye wants God to wash us in blood. For Kanye's part on the second verse, he also gets much more analytical with his lines than he was in the first. He says, "Wash us in the blood, whole life being thugs, no choice selling drugs, genocide, what it does, mass incarce, what it does, cost a cause, what it does." So more than just presenting a problem or saying that people are out there doing dirt with no reason, he provides the reason and the context. It's the genocide, be that metaphorical, for a system that works against certain types of people in an attempt to eradicate them or at least eradicate their voice, or the genocide that's literal, such as black people actually being murdered by police or incarcerated at extremely substantial levels. While the second verse sounds more like the old conscious Kanye, the third verse is like an old Kanye, but it's more the self-centered, self-focused Kanye. Because although the point of the song is to point out society's ills, which he does successfully some, especially through the video, the third verse is really about perceived ills against him, talking about how people won't let him be him or how they edit their videos to make him look crazy. For example, he says they want to edit the interviews, they want to take it to interludes, cut a whole sentence to interlude. You know that it's fake if it's in the news. We've heard these kinds of rants from Kanye before, and somebody should tell him that it comes with the territory. He's one of the most famous celebrities out there, and a very vocal, opinionated one at that. So just being in the public eye, he's automatically going to get more scrutiny than others. That's just what happens. But especially when he puts his voice and opinions out there and he's loud about it, he's got to expect some criticism coming back at him, or people maybe painting him in an unfair light. If you speak your mind loudly, you have to anticipate that people will retort with their own opinions. He does have a funny line on this verse, which actually reminds me of the old Punchline Kanye, where he says, "They don't want me to Kanye. They don't want Kanye to be Kanye. They want to sign a fake Kanye. They trying to sign a calm Ye." So hitting them with that play on words, we've got 3 different versions of the old Kanye on this song. We've got the Punchline Kanye, we've got the conscious Kanye, we've got the egotistical Kanye, and we've got the Yeezus Kanye. Is that enough old Kanyes for you? And that's just enough old Kanyes to make this a good track. All in all, I enjoyed it. It's the best song that he's released in a while. I liked taking it back to the industrial production. I liked the socially conscious glimpses that we get on this. And it does make me anticipate the album drop a little bit more, or just a little, I should say, because I wasn't really anticipating it all to begin with. And I do think the concept of the song and addressing societal sins was well executed for Kanye. We've heard so many others do this really well recently, and lyrically he can't compare to some of the protest songs and things like that that are coming out right now. But this is good for him, and he exceeded expectations. Thank you for watching my review of Kanye West's Wash Us in the Blood. If you have any questions or comments, put those in the comments section right now and I will reply to you. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit like and hit subscribe that's popping up right next to me. I drop hip hop and hops related content consistently, so check that out. There's also some other videos that you can click on right now. Until then, I'll see you next time.